Good morning. We'll start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for this beautiful day, and I thank you for all the opportunities you give us as a county. I just pray that you give the commission the knowledge and the wisdom to do the county business, and just pray for each and every one of the citizens and the employees of Linn County. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I'll make a motion. We approve the minutes from March 2nd, 2026 as written.
Well, thank you.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'll make a motion that we approve the claims in the amount of $587,869.98.
I'll second that motion.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'll make a motion that we approve the adds and abates from 2025-219 through 2025-263 in the amount of $53,885.68.
I'll second that motion.
I was just going to say, I talked to several other clerks.
Actually, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, they do not sign all of those. They just sign that each commissioner signs that top sheet.
Front sheet.
So then that way you don't have to sign all those moving forward.
So just sign right here.
Mhm.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any changes to the agenda for this morning? How much time? You want 2 weeks? Okay.
323.
I'm gonna schedule that for March 30th.
I would like to have 10 minutes executive session with the three commissioners, our attorney, the clerk, and the fair board representatives for attorney-client privilege, possible litigation for 10 minutes.
You want that in department heads time frame before we go into new business?
Do we have a time frame or 11:15 for the fair board? I guess we'll probably wait till we get,
Closer to that?
Yeah.
you got more guys coming, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Probably ought to wait till later then.
But do it before we have, okay, I understand. All right, so
Stephanie Watson will need to reschedule. She had house damage due to the storm and will not be here.
you want to just add that later? I won't put a time on it. Yeah, so we're removing the rehab grant under new business. Before new business on Linn County Fair Board, we're adding a 10-minute executive session. And vicious dog logs will be moved to March 30th. Any other changes?
Nope.
I'll make a motion. We approve the agenda with the changes stated.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. AMR?
I have the AMR report. Blue Mound, 6 calls, 2 transports. Centerville, 2 calls, 1 transport. Lacine 13 with 4, Mountain City 9 with 6, Parker 2 with 0, Pleasanton 9 with 8, Prescott 1 with 1, for a total of 42 calls, 22 transports, average response time of 17 minutes and 58 seconds.
All right, the sheriff's report.
It's total prisoners 51, farmed out 0, farmed in 35, 911 calls 55, total jail contacts 5236, calls for service 709, civil service papers served 19, bin inspections 12, new cases open 29, cases closed 14, vehicle crashes 5, bailiff contacts 172, livestock out 1, SRO calls for service 171.
Randy?
Good morning, Commissioners. Randy Hagwell, Linn County Emergency Management and Rural Fire. This week's call summary numbers are: we had 1 wildland fire, 5 EMS calls, 1 motor vehicle accident, 1 fire alarm, and 1 gas leak. Weekly total was 9, brings our yearly total up to 125. I'd like permission to hire Truman Schneider to Station 910, which is Mountain City, as a volunteer firefighter pending pre-employment drug screen and physical. That would put our roster there at 13 out of 15.
I'll make a motion, we hire Truman Snyder as a volunteer fireman at the Mount City Station upon his drug and screenings.
Yeah, drug screens
Drug screenings,
and pre-employment physical.
he's physical. That's my motion.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Other than small chance of severe thunderstorms for tomorrow, I have nothing for this week.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Randy.
Thanks, Randy. I think that's, you need to sign that one. We'll go into health department. You good with that? Or do you want to go?
No, that'd be fine.
Just get her out of here. Okay. Are you ready, Amanda?
Yep.
Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and go. I think that's great. I think we'll be good. Good morning.
Right. Amanda Snyder, Linn County Health Department, and I have a February update for you. For appointments, for 2026, we were at 373. Some highlights for February. Last Saturday, we hosted our very first Expecting Together Preparing for Baby prenatal class. This ended up being a 3-hour class that we held. We had 32 people that RSVP'd, 28 attended. This consisted of 7 sessions, 2 guest speakers, like I said, 3 hours of education, and funding for this class was provided through our maternal child health grant. Just have a few pictures for you. Up in the top left-hand corner, we had Dr. Megan from Riggs Chiropractic. She came and talked about how to deal with pain and discomforts during pregnancy. On the right, we just have a picture of our participants. Down at the bottom, Caleb Richardson came and did a session on Dads Matter. Just some more group pictures there. We're really happy with how all of that turned out. Recently, we were awarded a $2,000 grant from Frontier Farm Credit to be used towards our community garden and our nutrition nook. Last week, we attended our Public Health Emergency Preparedness Regional Exercise up in Johnson County. They gave us a communicable disease when we got there, which ended up being measles, with different scenarios, and we had to work through that. There is also a new case of measles that was announced last week in Jackson County, Missouri. Upcoming events. This Wednesday, we will be at the Jayhawk Linn Student Health Fair. Half of our staff will be teaching CPR, and the other half will be teaching or doing a session on STIs and STDs. We will be offering 2 safe sitter classes. One will be during the week of spring break. That is at the Pleasanton Library. It'll be split up into 2 different days as opposed to one long day. So March 16th from 10 to 1 and March 17th from 10 to 1. Just need to call our office to register, and you must have completed 5th grade to be able to attend this class. The next one will be April 6th. Schools are closed that day, so good opportunity to get your kiddos signed up. This one will be at the Mound City Library from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We have a new siblings class that'll be April 9th at the Linn County Health Department from 3:30 to 4:30. This class will include ways to help interact with your new sibling. It'll cover hand washing. We'll have a craft, story, and other education provided. We will also have a grandparents class. So grandparents getting started. This will be Wednesday, April 8th from 9 to noon. At the health department. There is a fee for this class for the materials needed. We are hosting a car seat technician class at our location. This will be June 9th through 11th. I've sent out emails to employees at the health department, fire station, sheriff's office, other local partners, and people in Miami and Bourbon County as well. This is a class to become certified to check and install car seats. For you guys, I sent you an email on this, but I also have a handout for you.
Thank you.
KDHE has put together what they're calling the Pulse of Public Health. These are 3 about an hour-long webinars that go over these 3 topics. So the value of public health, local boards of health and what is your role, and public health funding. This was created specifically for county commissioners. The sheet that I gave you and the email that I sent you should have a link to register. Should you want to watch these, or if you'd like to come watch them at the health department, we'll be watching them as well. So just let me know if that's something that you would prefer to do. The mobile mammogram bus is coming back to us on July 15th. So in the next few weeks, we'll start putting out some information on that and open up the schedule for that. Our aid to local grants are due next Monday. So I have submitted all of our applications and all of our budgets. And today I just need to get the signature page completed. So the 4 aid to local grants that we apply for every year consist of state formula, MCH, which is maternal child health, FEP, which is public health emergency preparedness, and IAP, which is the immunization action plan. So I've listed what we have requested under each grant. The amounts that I put there are typically what we end up receiving. So they could vary a little bit. But these grants cover salaries, benefits, infrastructure improvements, supplies for events and outreach, education, some of our utilities as our phone bill, all of those things. So the state formula, that is 100% match. That is the grant that when we were doing budgets that we had to have, what word am I looking for here? Taxes.
We had to levy,
Yes,
we had
yes.
to levy taxes.
Yes, we had to levy taxes to be eligible for this grant. And then it also goes off of our population. So that's the state formula. MCH, we usually receive around 14,000, FEP a little over 13, and then IAP just a little bit over 4,000. But yes, state formula, we have 100% match. MCH, we have a 40% match just on the salary only, and then no match on the other two. So if that's something you're good with, I have a signature page just for the chairman to sign that I have to upload.
Sorry. Oh, you're good.
I'll make a motion that we go out for the health department grants totaling $50,379.41 and allow the chair to sign.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Is there a cost to this if we register?
Nope.
Okay, and then you said you're streaming it there, so we can just pop over.
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay.
Now, I don't know, all of you probably
Right.
wouldn't be able to attend at the same time, but if you each wanted to pick one, then yep, whatever you guys want to do, or watch it on your own. That's all I have unless you have any questions for me.
I don't have any.
I don't have anything.
Okay.
Thank you,
I'll get
Amanda.
this signed.
Yep.
real quick. You can take it before
Okay.
you leave. I'll send you an email on the date I'm thinking. Joni, are you ready to go into executive session? Did you want to state anything before, or just go straight into? Okay, commissioners, attorney, or, and you? The clerk too? Okay, I'll make a motion, we go into executive session, 10 minutes with the 3 commissioners, attorney, the clerk, and Joni, our treasurer. According to Kansas statute 4319B1 for job performance, returning to the commissioners annex room at 9:27. That's my motion.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. There was no action. I make a motion, we go into executive session with the clerk for 10 minutes. The three commissioners, attorney, according to Kansas statute 75-4319B1 for job performance and job duties.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, returning at 9:40 or 9:39, sorry. There was no action. Clerk, did you have anything else today?
I agree. I am requesting that you as commissioners to please raise Jesse's with Public Works' credit card. He's not asking me to do this. This is my asking. And the reason for that is his credit limit is currently $5,000. He's over 7 departments. And if he purchases 2 things that happen to be $2,100 each for each one department or the other, or puts hotels on his credit card or whatever the case may be, is he is already above his limit. And it, not that I mind, but it's just more time that he has to call over and say, hey, either can I borrow your credit card, or can you raise my credit limit for a short amount of time? Because I feel like he's limited of $5,000 as if it was just him and his department, but he's truly over 7 departments. And I realize that you're still going to see all those claims, and he knows, and he's the only one that's using that credit card, that he knows that he can't spend more than $5,000 on a particular thing without it, getting approval. But it just puts a little bit of a bind with things running smoothly. So I'm asking that you raise that to at least $10,000.
Any other departments have anything over 5,000?
No, every department. IT is the only one, and my office.
What's
I believe,
IT's?
I think it's 30,000. About 2
Can you
seconds.
double check that?
Yep. I was gonna see if you give me about.
And
2
yours
seconds.
is?
Mine is 25 or
25.
30,000.
Jen, stop you from having any issues, Jesse?
I think so, yeah.
I don't have an issue with that.
I don't either.
We'll see the bills anyway, so.
Yeah, that's where I was coming in at too. You're gonna see everything. He knows the rules and knows that, obviously he has to be approved for anything over 5,000. So, okay.
What's the most you've seen come in a day for him?
Well, one day on 2 different occasions, and that's the other thing. He sees it that he's like right now he's showing that he's at 2658 is what he has left to spend. And a while back he had something similar to that, and he needed to spend $2,400. Well, then we have a over the credit limit charge,
Yep.
and we're just trying to eliminate all of those. And if, like I said, if he has all 7 departments, even if each one of them needed $1,000, we're over our credit limit. And then that's an additional $39. So mine is at 25, and then Chris's might be at right at 30. Mm-hmm.
Yours is 25,000.
Mm-hmm. And then everybody else's is at 5,000. So
I'm good with it.
I don't have an
Yeah.
issue. If 10,000, that's enough, then
I'll make a motion that we allow the credit card for Public Works Administrator to be raised to $10,000 credit limit.
I'll second that motion.
it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I just wanted to give you an airport lot split update as well. Lisa and I have worked. She's got her paperwork done that needs to be done. I will reach out this week to the title company. We have to technically deed the lot split component back to the county, the way it's done. Once I have that paperwork, we can file it with the state, and that will be taken care of. So I just wanted to give you an update on that.
Thank you, Jesse.
Yep. And then the last thing I just wanted to share with you is ESS, which is our software update with election stuff. They will be here tomorrow through Friday. And so Cheyenne and myself, or someone else, because there has to be 2 people in the election room at all times, will be in there letting them update their information and all of this software updates. So anyway, that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Jesse?
Morning, Commissioners. Jesse Walton with Public Works. Going over a few things here, starting on what I'd sent out We started getting costs back for the landfill expansion. The engineer, Terracon, said they would get back with me this week with their final costs on moving forward to get some permitting done and what it's going to cost for monitoring. So there'll be some preliminary engineering costs that they'll bring in, and I'll hopefully have those this week to bring in next week, so you can see what it's going to cost to expand that. We're looking at doing that in phases out there, just so you're aware, in 3 different phases. They've labeled them A, B, and C using the hayfields, the forested area, and where the strip pit is. So just so when that comes in later this week, you'll know that that's what we're doing, is splitting that up in 3 different phases. And that's due to the environmental stuff that's going on out there with that endangered species. So the broad-headed skink that we're dealing with out there. The hay leases, there's been several calls about that. We sent that out to the paper. That'll go in the paper this week on Wednesday. And those bids are due back at the end of the month, March 27th. So those hay leases can continue on.
Is that a 2-year deal? Is that-
Yes, every one of those was set up as a two-year deal. Dave Sutter has submitted an invoice. I've submitted this to insurance. They found a few different, not necessarily discrepancies on there, but there were some cost differences. So they wanted to work on those. But I would like to issue a partial payment to Dave Sutter for $105,761.58. They're still right about $55,000 that the insurance is withholding until they find out where these other costs can get fixed with Mr. Sutter. So
So we're good with the insurance of this. We have.
yes, we have this money.
We've
Yep.
got that money from,
Yep.
do we have any extra from them besides this?
Nope, that's it. That's where we're at with the standings. When I talked with Al Gardner the other day. And so that last little bit of money is what we're waiting on from the insurance, and I don't know how much longer they're going to be debating that. So that's why I was asking for a partial payment to Dave.
Does that sound accurate?
To be honest,
It's something that we deal with Joni on that. And so I did send that spreadsheet to you with those costs. And that cost at the bottom of that spreadsheet is what they're discussing.
Have you seen this, Jacqueline?
I just thought that we had already settled all of this with Dave Sutter.
No, this is the last invoice.
But I thought we'd paid our deductible and then they hadn't, the insurance and Sutter hadn't agreed upon a price. That's what I thought. Is that, am I wrong?
I thought it was, the insurance kept paying out money to us. We kept turning over to Sutter as things
They had a
got done.
dollar figure set that the 10,000 or whatever it was, 10 or 12,000 was our deductible, right?
That is correct.
And then the rest of it was going to be covered is what we were told.
Correct. That is correct.
And that's what his bid was.
I would like, maybe to go over this with Joni and attorney to make sure it's right.
I'd like the attorney to look at it to make sure before we pay anything myself.
Okay.
Thought the bid proposal for him was that he was going to work with the insurance company, and that was the reason why they had ultimately accepted that bid over the other bidders.
That is correct.
So why they would now be asked to be paying it outside of the insurance is
We're not.
confusing to me.
We're not. What they're doing is they're cutting the check to Linn County, and then we're just taking that money and giving it to Dave.
But what my question is, why is his bid more than what it started?
So they went through, so there's several things like on the 4-H building, we had an electrical issue out there that needed to be taken care of. We had to reroute some wires. There was wires that were going up through the tin, through the skin of that, against the purlins on the building. And so they had discussed that with the insurance company to go out and fix that. So those are where additional costs are coming in. Some things on this building, the ceiling tiles in this building have changed the cost on it. The windows that are going to be replaced on the 4-H building, those are costs that are change orders on that. So those are the costs that they're going back and forth with Dave to make sure that everything is adjusted correctly for that last little bit of money to pay out.
Before we pay it, I'd feel better to wait and make sure we're at before we pay the last thing that the insurance has myself. But
And he did work on the Justice Center
That's what I understand. He's done some work on the Justice Center.
that wasn't part of the bid at all, though, was it?
That's correct. So that's not what I'm asking for is that money. It's for the monies that we paid for the 4-H building and the annex and the South Road shop.
Okay.
Money we've already received.
This is money we've already
Finishing out, yes.
received.
And this is just money finishing paying out from those claims that he did, correct?
But it
Yes,
says total due $160,403 for the Justice Center now due. Who's paying that?
I don't know. That's where I've asked the insurance to look over that. What I'm asking for is for the annex building, the South Road shop, and the 4-H building.
I understand
Okay.
what you're asking.
I do
She's
too. I
telling
understand
me
what you're
that
asking
she
for.
has the money in there, but I'm trying to figure out, is the money in there for that, or is the money in there from the Justice Center? Why do we have?
I'm not worried about the Justice Center money because that's something Al's working out with Dave. That wasn't part of the original deal with us on doing that from what I understand.
I just want it cleared up, is what I'm saying. Jeff.
No, and I understand that. What I got from Al is that 52,000 that's on that spreadsheet, or excuse me, the 54,641 or 641.71 is what is left to be paid out from the annex building, the South Road shop, and the 4-H building. That's where those extra costs of the electrical problems that they've had and doing ceiling tiles and windows, those costs are being adjusted in there for that. Al, when Al gets that figured out, then we're going to discuss what this whole Justice Center is about. But there is some costs in there they're trying to fix.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Maybe I'm not making any sense, but what I was trying to say was, if Chastity is saying that Joni has the money in there, I just didn't know if that money in there was from the extra payout for the 4-H building, you know what I mean? I don't know where that money, if you have an extra 200,000 there, did we get the right amount from the insurance for that? Or did we have that money in there from the Justice Center? I don't know. I don't see anything. Am I making sense? I'm not opposed to paying out what you're asking me to pay out, Jesse. I just want to make sure we had the money received from the insurance company.
I understand both directions, and I'm gonna need to be able to see, the one time I didn't bring my folder that has all my insurance stuff with it, but I need to be able to see that breakdown myself, so I can't go one direction or the other, or tell you one thing or the other at this time.
Can we go one more week and let Jacqueline look at it and see? Then we'll make her decision on the payment.
It's fine with me.
Can you
Okay.
just put that on the agenda for Monday, so we know? Thank you.
Okay. The jail bids for the demolition have been reviewed. Went through those, and I'd like to award the bid to Greg Bear, Traco Service, for $49,200.
Did you put that in the SharePoint or no?
Yeah, there's a
I'm
spreadsheet.
sorry, I'm not seeing it.
It is
It's
What was it called?
March
March.
contract.
March
bids.
contract, okay. Sorry. Oh, okay. Do you guys have any questions on that? Is there anything that stood out in his bid that you're going with him?
He does this for a living. He's quick and he's clean, and I've had a lot of good feedback from other people about the work that he does.
I don't have any questions.
I don't either.
I'll make a motion that we approve the bid for Greg Bear excavating in the amount of $49,200 for tearing down the old jail.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. Our culvert bids, we went over those. And I'd like to award the bid to Contact Engineering Solutions for the amount of $118,688.80 for 8 culverts for the 1095 road project. That being said, I would like to bid this job out due to the size of it and the time frame that my guys are already in with replacing culverts throughout the county. I did discuss this with the culvert companies that I'd like to go out for bid for a contractor to do this job. Due to the awarding of that contract job to do the dirt work and replace these culverts would depend on when they start building these culverts. So I'd hate for them to build these culverts and we not be able to put them in.
Okay.
We got money in the budget as far as for
Yes,
contractor to put them in.
yes, yep. We have 1.7 million in the special road and bridge fund.
And these will come out of that also.
Yes.
And then whatever it takes to, and then whatever, it's on the special road and bridge, is that the pavement, is that what we're gonna do with the payments coming out of a different fund, right? As far as
We
repaving.
already,
That money was moved from last year to this year, so that's paid for on that. The only thing that we're gonna have to pay out of our pocket on this, out of this funding, is our preliminary engineering on the south half of 1095, and then the preliminary engineering for the old military bridge.
And then determine the next year if we do the south half of 1095.
Correct,
Right.
yes.
okay. I'm okay with it going out for bid and purchasing these from Contact.
I am too.
I'm good with it.
Okay. So we need a motion approving the bid from Contact Engineered Solutions. I'll make a motion that we award the bid to Contact Engineered Solutions in the amount of $118,688.80 for the culverts for 1095.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. I'm gonna put the bid in the paper this week for that bid job to replace those culverts. We're gonna have those submitted no later than 4 PM on March 27th. The week before, we'll do a bid walk. I'll call the contractors, tell them we're gonna do a bid walk out there and look at the site so they have an idea of what they're after. Due to that, I will reach out to the engineering firm to get us some permits going so we can get those taken care of to get those culverts replaced. I had an electrical engineer out this last week to come look at the generator at the old sheriff's office. He's going to give me a bid on unhooking everything for that generator and out of that building. He said he'd be more than willing to come and visit with the commissioners of what that generator is capable of. It's, from what I understand, it's not big enough to run the whole building. It'll only run parts of it. So, that's where that generator's at. It's just not big enough to do everything that I thought it could do. So
It's just hooked to portions of the,
So it can keep the heating system on. And so that building, from what he told me, is an 800 amp service. That generator is 150 amp service. So it's nowhere big enough to run that entire building.
Okay.
You want him to come in and talk, or
I can have him come in and talk. He said he'd
you
be
want to
willing
make
to.
a decision and let us know what you want to do with it?
For right now, I'd like to just go through, get his bid from him of what it's going to cost to unhook everything, get it moved out of the way, and then we can have him come in and visit and give you his ideas of what he would like to do.
Sounds good.
The Campbell family over in Goodrich, their home was destroyed in a fire 2 weeks ago. They have turned in an application for dump fees to be waived as they're hauling off what's left of their house. And I got that application late Friday at the end of the day, and would like for that to be approved to waive all dump fees for the Campbell family.
we've done that before.
I don't have a problem with it.
I don't-
I'll make a motion that we waive dump fees for the Campbell family. What's my motion?
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. This last week, I had a safety meeting with Kansas Highway Patrol. I brought the road crews in. I've been trying to do that every year, do one big safety meeting with the road crews. We had solid waste guys come in for this, and it was to help them understand the importance of holding a commercial driver's license, securing your loads, and also being courteous drivers on the road. So just so you know, that I've started doing that every year since I was operations director, bringing it in, and that's been a really good thing for the guys to just be reminded of the responsibility of having a commercial driver's license. And also, you do get complacent in your job, so it was good for a refresher on things. Other than that, the landfill. Also, I have Cornerstone going to come out and do an as-built on the current C&D area to see where we're at and how much more we can fill out there. They're due to be here this Wednesday to go out and do that. So we have that going also. When they get the rest of the stuff done for our vertical expansion, we should be moving forward with that to be able to start stacking more C&D in that center area where that's going to be. So other than that, that's all I have this morning.
Thanks,
That's
Jesse.
everything for me.
Thanks, Jesse.
All right, thank
Have
you.
a good week. You ready, Sherry?
Sherry Loveland, Linn County Park. All I have is the bids on the cabin remodel, cabin 6.
Thank you.
And if I may, on these cabin remodels, what I asked them to do is go in and do a couple different things on there. One, to go in with a bunk bed system in there, also to redo the flooring, change some lighting, cabinets, sinks in there. I also asked them to put in on that bid to do an awning on the outside of that building over the picnic table on the side. So they do have shade to put the picnic table under. So and when you read through those, if there's an option there for the awning, that's what that's for, whether we decide to do it or not.
It's for cabin 6. Coming from Jimmy Lawson. It does not have a company name. 10,000 for the inside. For sheetrock, flooring, kitchen cabinets, kitchen sink, faucet, table, bunk beds, paint and trim, some other things, and then add 800 if we can't go over plywood, 1,500 for the mini split, 3,000 for the lean-to. I don't have a total, but
Darren and Jamie Shackleton was, their bid, total bid $16,112.61. Got one without the sheet
Oh,
rock.
okay. Oh,
He kind of had an old brick then.
I think they'll probably go qualify them, but you can. So the two that originally bid didn't come back?
One of the originals, Miller Brothers did not. And I called them and emailed them both.
That's okay.
Oh, we did
They get
both.
to qualify. Yeah, if they're good. Thank you.
So, yeah, they did not come back.
Okay.
Yeah, there are questions on the candidates.
I don't know.
I don't have any questions. Do you guys want to give her a date to come back for that since probably needs to be done? Do you have next week? Can you come back next week? Yeah. All right. That's it. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
I'll open it up for public comment. Any citizen desiring to speak may do so at this time. No? Did you have anything? No? Okay. All right, we'll close public comment. Vicious dog laws have been moved to March 30th. And now for old business, we'll talk about Economic Development Board and e-community. The attorney will start the discussion.
So I had a conversation with Janet, and the loans that were already distributed to recipients in Linn County, those loans will continue to be available to those folks as long as they continue to,
Make payments.
yeah, stay true to the terms of their contracts.
Okay.
Even though the agreement between e-community and Linn County sort of seems to indicate that in the absence of a economic development board, that those monies would not be available. The monies that have already been awarded are not affected by that according to actual practice, I guess. It is any new grants, new loans, that type of thing that would not be available without a business partnership. It doesn't have to be an economic development board. In some places, they have suggested the Chamber of Commerce or that type of thing for the community. You had asked about Miami County. They don't have a solution for Miami County. She's wondering whether the Miami County one will continue to be available or not, because so far they haven't had a business that has sort of stepped into that role that would be filling the responsibility of the Economic Development Board. So that's the answer with regard to e-community. The existing loans are not affected, but new loans, no, and new grants also no. The grants that we're calling grants, but that were funded by the budget process through Linn County, that was directly Linn County money through the budgeting process. In years past, you all have prevailed upon an economic development director and board to sort of vet those applications for those grants and go through the process of determining who was qualified to receive those monies. You did already fund that or allocate money, I guess, for lack of a better word. And so now you just don't have somebody to review any of those applications and or field any of the phone calls and inquiries that are coming in, which you do have. When Jennifer Leach Harlow was in here before, she had asked you all about the possibility of them selecting an economic development director like on a stipend basis to get you through the end of the year for some of those grants and things like that that had already, been allocated. I don't know if you all were were interested in that, or getting some type of a contract position to be able to go through all of those applications, since you had already set the money aside, so there can be a point of contact for these inquiries that are coming in. They're coming into the clerk's office, and obviously the clerk is not over economic development, but people are asking about those grants that, you know, were discussed during the budgeting process.
I'm still in favor of having somebody come in on a contract basis or something that way to be able to get those grants out as we have in the past.
I'm good with that this year, see what, you know, if we could work with the contract person somehow to continue through them and work with the board. See if it's a fit for us.
Or whether it's just not gonna work.
Mhm.
I do want to just add that this is not going to be a decision that can be made overnight, but we do need to be thinking about long-term with this. If you're going, because budgeting season is just around the corner, so what you're going to do moving forward about grants in the future or award, you know, whatever. I just want you guys to be thinking about that we can't wait until like October, November to be making these decisions. So need to put this on the back burner of your brain, that what you're going to do moving forward with that. So because of budgeting reasons.
Or what we're spending.
Well, we budgeted for it already, so we'll just
For
budget it.
this year.
This year's
Yeah,
budget.
but
She's saying
you
that
can still
next
do
year's
it
gonna be
without-
coming around. Before we know it.
I think you all have to decide whether you're gonna go out, you know, posting a job, or you want to talk to, I mean, I think the last time the Economic Development Board was in here, they were trying to explain that they're kind of done because they don't have any type of guidance or whatever. So I don't know that it's reasonable to expect that they can again bring you, you know, some type of option for that. So I am concerned that we're running out of time. It's already March. And so my understanding is that in years past, they had already started receiving some of the applications for some of those grants that you all had allocated. And like I indicated, many of the people are already inquiring about how to apply for, you know, those grants, and the clerk's office doesn't have the information to give them. So it is.
I think we should post the job or post the contract position ourselves.
Do we need to put something as far as for pay, or? I would, that'd be the first thing to ask you.
Okay.
I will share that Jennifer and I spoke 2 Thursdays ago. Is that correct? No, last Wednesday, I apologize. And just talked about like what that looks like time frame wise. You're looking at 4 community grants of $250 each, 4 childcare grants at $250 each, and then 10 summer youth program at $1,200 each. So time frame to collect those grants, and the childcare and the community grants are usually first come, first served basis. As long as they meet the criteria of whatever the application consisted of, they were granted those funds. The summer youth grant consisted of applications came in. If there was more than 10, they met as an economic community board, decided who was going to be awarded those grants, and then they had to keep track of the time for those individuals that worked for them and a payment of what they were paid. So then mid-August, all of that paperwork comes back in, and then those checks are distributed. So time frame wise, you're probably looking at, and so that would consist of maybe 2 to 3 meetings that they would need to have with the Economic Development Board, or I'm sorry, E-Community Board. So you're looking at give or take 40 hours. So just wanted, because she was asking where we were looking at time frame wise for that. So
What if we did something like $2,000?
make it like an hourly wage and put a limit on the amount we're spending and then an hourly wage for up to that or just a flat fee or how do you want to do it?
I was thinking a flat fee. Simple.
Yeah, because then the next question I would ask is who's going to keep track of those hours and who's going to turn them in and how often are we going to pay them? And yeah, so
Well, and again, I don't know, you guys can decide on that. I think that you get back into a situation where you're trying to, like Chastity knows, but we're supposed to be the one telling them what to do. We don't even know anything about it.
I will
I say
assist
no on
anybody
everything.
that
That's where I'm at.
anybody that does anything, I will assist them.
But do you want to do that? Do you have the time? You've said you
It
don't
will have
the
to be
time.
after hours of my time.
Exactly. So I don't want to get in that situation again. Honestly, I just don't.
The three things we're asking, is it something though that they can have a little guidance and just do? I mean, it's especially been with their e-community board.
Correct.
They can
Yes.
walk them through it. All we're doing is asking for somebody
Yep.
to schedule the meetings and then oversee and make sure the grant.
And contact each awardee that received their funds. Yep.
Okay.
I'm good with Jason's idea for this year and see what goes from there.
I'll make a motion that we post a economic development contract position to handle the grants awarded by the county for summer youth employment,
Community,
community and
childcare.
childcare with a $2,000 amount.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Aye. Do you want to go into executive session now? Are we ready? Or do we need to rate on other members' warfare?
So, yeah, there's other members coming. There should be 4 more coming. They're told to be here by 10:45 because we thought this was going to be, everything was going to be longer. So I can probably see if they can.
You want to just recess?
It's fine with me. I'll make a motion. We recess to 10:45.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 And I think Jason suggested.
That's fine, so 3 in person and 1 on phone. They're all in executive session. Thanks, Tim. We're back in session. Are you ready for the phone call?
Actually, no, I have one thing. I need to bring up, before we go to our next section, is YEC was completed last Tuesday, and Destiny Fletcher, who is the business teacher over at Pleasanton, is the one that had speared that, took care of it, did an amazing job. I did go over and check in and looked over some things and visited with her. She sent me the handful of receipts that she had and her pay, I guess, and I need an approval to submit that to her. So the agreement was $1,500 for her time of putting together the YEC, and there was like $20 from Amazon for a fake check and some tablecloths, and it was total was $1,733, and then a receipt of $5.42.
What's the total?
So, let's see, $87.50 for food, $5.42 for Dollar General, and the $6.49. So again, let me give you that. So the total would be $1,599.41. $99.41 is receipts that she purchased for, and food to feed the kids. There were, I believe, 10 businesses that were involved, and 4 or 5 from Jayhawk Land.
So Destiny got paid for her time, $1,500.
She was the one and head spearing the whole thing. Yep, everything was after
Okay.
hours. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she was teaching during the day, and then she did
And then
all the prep work.
no, it's fine. Janet Miller made me feel really guilty at YAC, so just want to
Oh.
make sure everyone knew that she got paid for that.
Yeah, no, she was
$99.41.
Yes,
That's all that they used in food
Mhm.
and Amazon.
correct.
I'll make a motion that we approve $1,599.41 to pay out to Destiny Fletcher
Mhm.
for the YEC event.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then the awards, those were already approved in the previous minutes? The money that we paid, we wrote checks?
Well, that came from,
From Network
Community-
Kansas.
Or Network Kansas?
yes, yeah, Network Kansas, yes.
All right, I'll make a motion that we go into executive session with 3 members present from the Fair Board,
Or
4 members present. 1 will be on a phone call, the clerk, the attorney, the 3 commissioners, and we'll be going to an executive session for 10 minutes in this commissioner's annex room. So we'll ask the newspaper and the other guest to go into the waiting room. 10 minutes, returning at 10:58. That's my motion.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Let me open it back up.
There was no action. We're back into regular, the meeting. We'll continue discussions with the Fair Board at the table. And bring in our guests that had to leave the area. You can take it. I hit print, but, oh,
It's
sorry.
okay. That's all right. Now press print.
Thank you.
Okay.
Everybody's
All right. So
in.
go ahead.
No, you're fine. Go ahead, Jason.
So this was in our discussion about the Fair Board building and the possibility of the Fair Board taking it on. What do you guys have to say in regards to that?
I say we just can't hardly afford to take over the maintenance of it
The
and
mill levy? That's
the liability of it. We'll try to do the best we can to kind of help with it. But, we just don't have the people to be there maintenance of it every other day or whatever it needs to be done. And we've got lots of things that we've tried to spend our money on, and which we're getting assistance from you with. And we appreciate all the help that you give us. And we can't hardly function without you. So we will try to cooperate with you however we can, but we just can't take the building over. To our view, anyway.
Okay. I think it makes sense that the maintenance thing is an issue.
Yeah.
I surely do.
Well, that's our issue. What our biggest issue is the maintenance of the building. And, you know,
Right.
it takes a daily, or, you know, people down there. It's just time consuming and expensive for our employees to go down.
Well, we don't have the correct oversight.
Pardon me?
I think the whole fairground building and everything down there is used an awful lot. Once we put, or you put the cameras in down there, we used to have a lot of vandalism. We don't have any now. So you can look on tape and see how much the fairground is used and who's using it. And it's not just a small group, it's a lot of people.
But we do need to confront the arts and crafts people. They do need to be paying rent on that building. They may be just paying you $75 a day for 2 days for their office space in it, but you should be getting money out of their booths.
So you guys, on every booth that's down there, you get a percentage of the
Right.
booth
Yeah.
that's in there. So I guess that's something we need to look into and see
Who
what,
is the arts and crafts person?
I don't know.
I'm not sure who's head of it anymore.
But again, as commissioners, that still wouldn't directly be related to us because we've given all responsibility to the extension office to take care of rentals. So if they're renting it and they're getting a percentage from arts and crafts, then they're turning it into us. If they aren't, if they are, we don't know. We never would know.
right?
So maybe we need to reevaluate the rental situation with the extension office because we are very unaware of anything that's happening, what's being given out for free, what's being charged, when do we increase it? It's been $75 for how many years?
30 plus.
Well, that's what I'm saying, you know, it's like,
Well, even like the kitchen, that's
have
another
stepped away.
issue, right? You said the cook,
yeah, we didn't have.
do we have to have that for the fair? I mean, this,
Yes.
Yeah.
step up there and talk. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so they can hear you.
Okay.
All right, Taylor Snyder. I know this guy pretty well. How much is the 4-H building used by the public?
It was rented out 25 times in 2024.
what about last year?
We don't have 2025. 2021, 36 rentals, 2022, 26 rentals, 2023, 26 rentals, 2024, 25 rentals for the year.
And in what condition is the building?
Fair?
4-H building.
I would say it's fair.
Is that an issue?
I would say it is.
Yeah, it's an,
Yeah.
well, financially, for us, it's an issue, and for rental, I would say it's an issue.
Mhm.
On upcharging?
I just mean an issue in general. I mean, it seems like the public uses the building enough, and the fair uses the building enough, and it's not in good shape. I mean, the whole fair week, I mean, they use the building for the concessions quite a bit, and every time we have events in there, if you're trying to cook, you're trying to do anything, we've had benefits there for people with cancer. So I don't think it's just, I think the whole community is affected by it.
We agree.
We don't disagree with that.
Okay.
And that was part of the reason why we were coming to you guys as the fair board, was we were hoping that together we could work out something that would allow the building to take on a better image.
Mhm.
Thought maybe that, you know, we know this isn't a taxpayer savings issue.
Mhm.
That's not what we're trying to push for or anything that way. We know that if the budget goes away on our end, it'll be increasing on your end.
Mhm.
That'll be taking care of it. But we were hoping that the fair board would be able to manage the building better as far as those things and getting it the way it needs to be than what we can as a county.
And that's the fair board's responsibility?
It's a 4-H building. It's located on the fair board. When we look at other counties like Miami and Bourbon County, they own their 4-H building, not the county.
How many of them have a facility as good as we've got? You been to Miami County?
I'm at Miami County all the time. And I would say their facilities are on par. I wouldn't say that they're any better. Their 4-H building is definitely not in the shape that our 4-H building is. It's better.
Why wouldn't we want to make ours better?
I was up there for the office.
I'm all for making it better. And
Okay.
I'm thinking that making it better is having you guys
care
determine
of
what it is and what it needs rather than us as commissioners.
Yeah.
So when you guys talk about maintenance, what are you looking at doing? Are you just looking at doing the heating and cooling? Or are you looking at doing more to the building?
Well, we didn't want to come in and redo a kitchen and then you guys take on a building and it wasn't how you wanted it. And so we were willing to look into what you wanted, how do you want it set up, get it all prepared. But as far as like long term, what I think I hear you say is you don't want them to take it on. You want us to do better.
Yeah.
And what I feel like, I think that we all want it to be better. It's just who's doing it.
Yeah.
And it's hard for us to get it done. It's hard for us to be the middleman
Yeah.
of getting that done. So we do get money. We do allocate money. Do you want us to hold on to that money here? Let's say we hold on to it and then we just wait for something to break and then you guys tell us? Or do you guys want to have that pool of money? It's like, have a plan, have a goal, and do it.
That's what we were in.
That's what we're interested in. We want, the money's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But it sits here and we get to wait till someone in the community complains.
Mhm.
At
Or
something
it's-
happened. Or it's 4-H,
It isn't-
the Fair Week last year. What happened?
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, the kitchen isn't working. What's going on? I'm obviously my kids are in 4-H.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
the building to be better.
Yeah.
When I went in and we didn't have French fries, I mean, that was devastating.
Yeah.
And
I mean, now my kids are like French fries.
I'm like, how
So-
can we work together to?
Well, that's what we
And
feel
our
like we
maintenance
can't.
people, that isn't their number one priority to go down there at the 4-H building, you know, I mean, to keep it up. It isn't. I mean, it's,
Why?
because they've got other buildings that they're taking care of. And I'm not saying they don't, but it's, they're gonna take care of the buildings that we have people in every day. I mean, I just know that's what's happening.
Our main focus needs to be about kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Agreed.
what our whole goal is, make it better for the kids, for the community, whatever we can do.
On paper, it just looks like we're losing a lot of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I think Jason,
I don't think it even looks like we're losing a bunch of money. I think it,
well, a
'cause
lot of,
I don't think this building's about making money.
No,
I don't think that.
it isn't.
So I think it's about the fact that we feel there's disconnect between us and you guys. And that was why we thought maybe the connection was that you have done so much with your fairgrounds and things that way that you take the building on and make it better. We continue to help fund that happening. I guess that was where I was coming at it from.
Because I don't think it's gonna save us anything.
I don't either.
Over, I mean, because.
It might actually cost more money. It might actually cost us more money in the short term to do it this way. Because you're going to look at it and say, well, it needs this, this, and this. And we're going to have to raise the money for that. Right?
You get,
Well, as far as the kitchen remodeling, it was just done 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Just the cabinets in the main space.
I think that they moved over the fair extension, or the extension office moved over some,
Their cabinets.
Cabinets.
Their area.
Right.
But as far as any of the cookware in the back, all we have now is a makeshift. We have a kitchen stove that somebody donated to us that works.
Well, as far as your kitchen, you need to get a commercial vent over your grill. It's the main thing you've got to have.
but then the extension, but that's where there's disconnect because Abby was just here 2 weeks ago and said that that's not what she wants. So that's why we're here. There's a disconnect. So if,
She suggested just 2 household stoves.
Right.
yeah, so you guys have to, that's where it just gets confusing. Because if Abby asked for that and we said yes 2 weeks ago, you guys would be maybe upset that we went that direction and didn't give you what you thought you needed, right? For the commercial kitchen.
Yeah,
So how
you need
do-
to get a commercial
I agree.
grease man above the stove, so you can have your French fryer and all that stuff in there. Which years ago they did redo it, but they just put a regular
So-
vent in it, and it's not working.
I have a question on that. Who benefits from the kitchen? Because we don't have a 4-H food stand anymore, correct?
No?
Right.
Oh,
They rent it
So-
out to each,
They
like
rent it out.
individual, like I rent it out for a day.
Right,
I
but
have to pay $300 rent.
if we're talking about it from that standpoint, though, if we go back to Ally's point on making money, we're never going to recoup those costs by creating a commercial kitchen in there for 1 week of the year where we're not fully.
Other organizations are coming in, is what you're saying.
Okay, so
They're
during Fair
they're
Week-
making the money off them.
of course, an
Yeah.
awful lot
During
of
Fair Week,
people are using
it's-
that kitchen.
it's not about how
Out.
much money
There's
we're
an
making
awful lot
at the
of people
fair.
Using that kitchen.
how does it benefit Mound City?
Okay.
Does that not generate revenue?
Everything goes on the fairground, bring business to town.
I think what he was trying to say was you have people coming in, it could be someone from Kansas City renting the kitchen for $300. And that $300 goes to the extension. And as the commission, we would never.
How do we fund the commercial kitchen based off 1 week of use? Is what I'm saying.
Longevity by putting in residential stuff, it just won't work. The reason I'm in 4-H, my kids are almost out of it, my last one, but we've had to go outside the kitchen and use grills outside because the
Okay.
kitchen's not functioning to the level that it used to 20 years ago when my older kids were little. That's a big problem. Putting in residential stuff will solve the immediate problem, but then long-term, we'll be right back in here. And I do, while I've got the floor I do want to agree, we do have a disconnect between everybody, because I really think we all want the same thing. It's just how do we get there?
Right.
But I know that kitchen is a problem. It's just gotten old and it needs maintenance and nobody knows who's gonna do it. How are we gonna do it?
That brings up the-
Josie, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I did.
we
I
can't
would
take-
say from the sounds of this whole conversation that the problem is not really with us, that it seems there's a disconnect between the county commissioners and the extension office. And so I guess my encouragement would be like, maybe that needs to be a conversation before we are continue to be involved in this conversation until they work out, hey, like, how often is this being used? Where are that money going? And then can they look at an increase in rate on the rental? And what does that do? I also would say, there's every now and again, somebody says, well, this is, how are we supposed to get our money back? How are we supposed to fund this? And then somebody said, well, it's not about the money. It's not about the money. I would implore you to look at the fairgrounds financials, like the fair boards. We're not there to make money. We do this to provide a service to the community, to provide entertainment, to provide activities for the youth. And so the attitude of like, well, we're trying to make an ROI on this building, you're not going to. And most of our like tax funded stuff in the community, I'm like, I don't know how much money we're making on that. It's supposed to be a service. So I guess I'm a little frustrated with like the back and forth on that. I think if you want to make money on the building, then be straight about that, or decide that this is a service we're providing. But I don't know. I think there probably needs to be conversations between the commissioners and extension and then bring us back in. And if that needs to be like, we form a committee that works closely with extension and the commissioners on maintenance and building stuff, whatever. But I mean, we're still not in a position to take on the 4-H building, point blank, period. So I don't know what that continued relationship looks like, but I think that there's more issues with extension than there is with us communicating. So that's what it sounds like to me anyways.
Isn't extension just to take the rentals?
That's all it is.
And scheduling. They schedule.
Keep track of who's coming in, who's going out,
Right.
the keys. And part of that is because, I would say our main tenant in there is extension. But those aren't being charged, of course, because that's what it's there for.
In my opinion, you own the building yourself. And you're the one that's gonna have to come up with the money, no matter what, whether who's doing anything. It would seem to me like we got 30-some guys on our board. You'll see a fair board meeting. It's unreal. But 3 people make a lot better decisions than 33, believe me. So I think in best interest for the county and for taxpaying and everything else, I think you people need to retain the decision making. And as far as working on it, you can hire somebody to go down there. Danny Nation goes down there and does a lot of things on that in the 4-H building, fixing plumbing and this and that. So it would seem to me like you need to keep control of it since you're controlling the money. And we get things done, but sometimes it's a little hairy. So I think it needs to stay that way.
Okay.
You know what your insurance costs you on it?
Ask Chastity, it'd be 20.
See, the county built that multi-purpose building over there many years ago. And I was on the fair board then. I just got started. I was opposed to it. I said, what's going to happen down the road when you want to get rid of it? Well, that'll never happen. But it did. It's ours. And our insurance on ours. We can't hardly even pay our insurance bill.
What does that insurance cost, Jesse?
For which part? For what he's talking about?
For the 4-H building.
I don't know, I just asked for her to look that up. I just asked Joyce to look that up, so I'm not sure.
But we will try to do whatever we can to kind of cooperate both ways, but we just can't already take over the 4-H building.
Okay.
To our opinion.
You know, just interviews and stuff like that.
What'd you say?
I said maybe they form a committee to look at different, you know, things that are used there, different things that are needed.
I do think the first thing you start with is arts and crafts to see why we're not getting pay on the booths in that building. But we don't get it.
We'll check into that and see.
Okay.
But I really don't see how much more it would cost to put a commercial grease fan in over the grill than it would be put in 2 stoves. Still have your grill where you can use it.
Well, and if you want to talk about like a liability exposure, if you have a commercial grade kitchen, you should have one. Your insurer should be asking about that, so.
But we're inspected by the state on it now. And that's why they brought up the deal about the grease trap. Because it is used for food processing. And the state can close you down if you're not up to spec.
Okay.
But since we aren't able to fix that, still think we need to, responsibility needs to stay with the commissioner, because there will have to be decisions made, and you three can make them a whole lot better.
Just one?
And probably more cheaper than what happens otherwise.
Okay.
Just the right hand needs to know what the left hand's doing.
Do you know what, are they taking the max mill? What, no? What, do you know what it is? What's the max for?
I want to say it's a $500,000 is what the fair board has allotted to them, and they're taking what, 75,000?
Taking more than that, we gave
More.
them 70 the other day.
128,000.
128. Okay. So they're taking
A little over half, I think.
of what they're, a little over half of what they could.
Try to use that money very wisely and disperse it as many projects as we can. Which is
We know you
easy.
do. We know you do.
But as far as we know right now down the road, we don't have any big projects we're gonna have to do after we get this bullpen fixed.
We didn't have much choice in that, because if they get out, we got a lot of liability.
No kidding.
We had fixed the fence with barbed wire and the chicken wire, or hog wire. We'll just tore that up. You know, I mean, this is where it's gonna be, so we better do something. We did.
Okay.
Well, I think that's all we've got to say.
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
We did.
Your time.
We thank you for
Thank you.
Hopefully it
listening
works
to
things
us.
out.
Thank
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jesse, are we where we could go out for bid on HVAC?
Yes. I think that's really this week.
Okay.
For the 4-H building or for the county as a whole?
For the county as a whole.
What about the 4-H building?
That's included in it.
Okay.
I read through the sheet on there, the 4-H building was for, so.
But part of that's under warranty, right?
One of the units still has a warranty on it, yes.
Do they warranty it with their labor, or do we do it and then
They warranty the parts, not labor.
the parts?
Yes.
Thank you. What was our budget for 2020? Sorry, I'm going back to the fair board. Sorry, Jesse. What was the 2025? Do you know what the line item was on that? Yeah.
For the 4-H building or what?
Yeah. Jesse.
Should I get a chair?
I know.
Chair,
A rolling one?
microphone on the side.
Wheelchair.
There's gonna be more coming for that. Remember, I told you there was only one there. That's not accurate. It's the second page.
Oh,
So
okay,
there's
that's fine.
more.
I can wait.
You wanted to know.
Can we all agree that there's a disconnect between the commission and maybe what's really needed at the fair for each building and the extension office? Or do we feel like we like the way it's going?
Well, if we maintain the ownership of it, I think there's things we better fix. You know, I don't know whether we raise the rent.
Kind of like Taylor was saying, though, it's not the best building. Should we raise it yet? I mean, what?
I think we have to fix it before we
Yeah.
raise it, but
Yeah.
you know, and I would agree that there's disconnect there because I don't see the point of us putting in a commercial kitchen for it to be rented out when a lot of people are going to just set up their own food truck or whatever and have their own commercial kitchen with them and pay for space outside of there. I don't
You're
know
saying
that
if we fixed it up, we'd be utilizing our county 4-H, be utilizing to make money, and right now we're not.
Right.
Businesses rent it,
or whatever clubs,
organizations.
whatever is renting it, they can figure out how they're going to use it in their best way possible. More or less, we're just offering the space, right? That's my thoughts.
Are we concerned with the rentals and the scheduling? And if we're, I mean, I'm not saying Abby or the extension office is doing anything wrong, but let's just say some are free, some are not. Do we care how consistent that is with the rentals? Do we care?
How are we going to manage that?
I'm just asking if we care first, I guess. If we don't, then it doesn't matter. She's going to continue doing it the way she does it.
Or were you renting it to people
make
for
sense?
free without it being like 4-H or something like that? Is that what you're
I, I don't know.
saying?
We wouldn't know. I mean, we don't have the scheduling. We don't have, or I don't see it. Does the clerk see it?
The clerk does not see the scheduling, but I know from past experience that anytime we used it for anything that was kid related, prom, we did not pay a fee.
Okay.
So if it was kid related, we did not pay a fee. Anything else that I personally have used it for, whether it was kid related or not, we did pay a fee. So I'm talking school maybe not have to pay for it, YEC maybe didn't have to pay for it,
4-H.
or 4-H does not have to pay for it. But if it was me having like my daughter's graduation party, I paid for it. Wedding reception, I paid for it. So
And I'm not saying I'm just asking. Because if we don't care, then it just needs to continue the way it is and we just pay for the repairs and we keep it maintenance. But if we do care and we're trying to recoup some of the costs, then we should probably look into the management of the 4-H building. Because we're the last to know if something needs fixed. We're blamed for the last minute notifications and not having it fixed. We don't have enough time to get it fixed before an event usually.
I'm going to step out of my clerk position and just talk to you as a patron right now. There is no way I would think twice about paying $200 renting that building. It's air conditioned, there's bathrooms, there's a little kitchenette, there's a large space. I would easily pay more money to be able to rent that facility than $75. As I've mentioned before, it was $75 30 plus years ago when I got married. It's still $75 now. The cost of things continues to go up. And I understand that it's not the most beautiful building from the outside, but you're never going to be able to make even better renovations if you're not increasing the cost even a little bit to get something started. That's just me speaking from as a patron. So
Who do we need to look to as far as the kitchen and what we need to do, or with an idea, I guess, of what direction we need to go with it, if that's what we're gonna do? You know, the residential stoves versus the commercial kitchen. I mean, I'm kind of leaning towards you. I don't know that we need to spend all the money on the commercial kitchen. It's to rent it out for somebody else to use.
Don't have any.
I don't have any experience with what we need there. I mean, do we need to tear the grill out to where it's not even there? What's your idea, Emily, on the kitchen?
I think that we should have it quoted both ways and then hear arguments on both sides from the Fairborn and the Extension. I really need to have the French fries back. I mean, is there a cheaper way to add? I mean, I don't know. You've looked at it. You've kind of got some ideas on the pricing, right, Jesse?
You want my opinion?
No,
Okay.
not the opinion. The pricing of the
I can't give you
not the price.
I can't give you a pricing. It's been a while since I've looked at that. I can give you opinion if you want it
Okay, fine.
of what to do in the kitchen. If you don't want it, that's fine too. Just yes or no. That's all.
I'll
Yes or no.
Yes,
I'll
tell
take
me what to
the-
do.
We have to have a majority vote on that
Okay,
too.
Yes.
The commercial stove that's in there, the reason why there's problems is we just don't use it enough. It's a gas stove. So if you don't use it enough, it's going to get dirty and it needs cleaned constantly. What I would do is take that one and sell that one and get a smaller gas stove, something that we can go through and clean up easier, be able to keep those elements and gas ports clean. That stove is huge if you've ever been back in there. Take that stove, take it out, get one that's smaller, still use a gas stove, and then you can also put those fryers under the existing hood that's in there. I've talked with a few contractors out of the city that can come down and get that hood working the way it needs to work. We're going to have a fire suppression system that's going to have to be inspected annually on it. anyways, where it's you have grease, you could have a grease fire, it's a gas stove under there. That's the way I would go about it and get the rest of the stuff out of that kitchen that's in there. They had a stove that was donated that's put in there. Take it out. Let's clean up that area. It's kind of congested back in there, but that is the route that I would go in that kitchen so we can continue to use it for the fair, for whatever program's going to go in there. Because that stove that's in there is pretty old.
Is there any way we can heat the heating and the cooling, or we can shut it up to where we're not heating and cooling the whole thing?
So the big units are shut off. They don't run all the time. It's just the heating and cooling unit that works on the bathrooms and the kitchen area to keep the water from freezing in the winter.
Okay.
So we already do that, I guess.
Yes, yep. So they don't turn on the big units unless there's an event inside.
Would you guys like to go out to bid for the kitchen?
That's fine.
I mean,
I would be more in favor of what Jesse's talking than something of the level of what's in there currently.
right, I don't think we need the huge thing that's there. If it's one that's still there, been there 20 years. So
It's probably the same one when you were a kid.
Yeah.
It's been there a long time.
I'm in favor of that as well. And then you're getting the bids for the other stuff, HVAC, correct?
Yep, so those are going out for the maintenance on that building. For the maintenance of the heating and cooling systems.
But not the replacement.
We can
What we need.
go out for bid on that if that's what you want to do. Just know that those bids are only going to be good for 30 days, talking to the heating and cooling contractors due to prices constantly changing in that industry.
I think we need to go out to bid for the repairs and replacement if needed, and also the maintenance and the kitchen.
Okay. So all of that. I'm in favor of that too.
Do we need a motion? I'll make a motion that we got to bid for the HVAC maintenance, the HVAC repair or replacement of the 4-H building, and the kitchen remodel for the fryers and overhead, the stoves, all of that for the 4-H building kitchen.
Okay.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay.
On the building, we were also looking into 2 sides being repaired
Yes.
for the insurance and what it would cost. Just go ahead and make it look all complete and not 50-50.
Okay. I did get an email back on that, and I will forward that to you this week so we can discuss that next week.
Okay.
Sounds good.
We'll tell you it's over 25,000 to do that. Is that something where we've asked for this contractor to go and look at that and give us a price? Do we
I
need
don't
to
think
go
you
out for,
should tell us. I think it needs to go out to bid.
do we need to go out for bid? That's why I'm asking on that. Like, I can tell you it is over the 25,000 mark.
It needs to go out to bid.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we also go out to bid to complete the other 2 sides of the 4-H building.
Where's the money gonna come to replace all this?
If it's gonna take that, I mean, they can increase if we can say, hey, it's way beyond what we can do in the scope, then they have to increase.
I would think
They
we
took
could
over?
probably ought to take time on the rest of the building and wait to see what we get in the kitchen first before we start spending more on the outside. So,
That's fine. We can wait. Have you guys drove down there to look at it?
I've driven around it, yes.
Okay. Do you need help?
Yep. Just go through the hallway and
You have anything else, Jesse?
nope. I'm just waiting for cost to come back for the insurance.
Okay.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Thanks.
Do you have anything else?
I have a total for you.
Go ahead.
the rental for 2025 for the 4-H building was $2,925. That includes that 75 that I had initially given you. $2,925.
How many rentals?
15.
All right, so we're down over half what we average. Do you guys want her to get any more information on the 4-H building regarding insurance? I have that noted. Anything else?
Look at the insurance and actually wonder if we can look at actually how many times it is used a year,
Not just including
not
what we
just-
pay. Yes, I did send out a message to Abby asking her.
just see how many
times it's
days we
used
are,
out.
it's being used versus how many is being paid for.
Right.
I did send a message to Abby.
Oh, sorry, you put the insurance on here. It's $3,970.52 for 4-H building alone. I don't understand the income versus the income for 2024. Can we get the income and loss for 2025 next week, maybe?
You mean like the expenses that we paid out? in
Yeah,
2025?
because when I look at income, we had 10 more rentals, but made less money, 1825, you know?
Part of that has to do with how many days, like the one for 2025, several of those rentals were like 3 days in a row.
I gotcha.
Yep.
Makes sense.
So you can't really go off
not by
rentals,
days.
it's by the day that they
Rental
rented.
days.
So like several of those were McGinnis auctioneer and he rented them out 3 days in a row.
The 15 rentals, but there might have been,
One that was there for 3 days.
Yeah, there might have been one that was for 3 days.
That makes
Mhm.
sense.
Those were just 15 transactions, I should say that.
Okay.
So I guess, I mean, I could.
And
break
then
that
the
down for you a
rodeo.
little bit more.
So also, can you ask Abby on the rodeo camp that comes, that they're out of Illinois, a different state that they come here? Do we let them stay for free?
Is that the Spoon Creek Bible Camp? That I cannot answer for you. I do not see anything that money comes from them, so that would be my guess.
Okay.
And again, that's for kids and for the purpose of the building, so that would be my assumption that they don't pay.
That's fine. They come from
I
a
know that we
completely
don't.
different state, and it's kind of like, well, I would too. It's free.
I do think that there is something of an information gap, though, both between the county commission, the extension office, and the board, the fair board. And the idea of adding an additional committee was kind of concerning to me because it seems like there's already a lot.
Disconnection.
And so adding an additional committee seems to add an additional layer of potential confusion or miscommunication.
Decision on what we're wanting or the direction we're heading.
But it might be beneficial for the public or for you all to call the extension office indirectly for them to be able to explain any of these things, because the fair board said they rented it for $300 and you all are saying $75. I don't know what that disconnect is either.
I don't remember
the
saying
300.
The lady on the end, she said that she rented it for $300.
That's just the kitchen
That's
during the fair week.
during the fair.
They somebody gives $300 to rent the kitchen during Fair Week in order for another organization to come in and make money off of our building.
So that $300,
But I don't know if that goes to you guys or if that goes to the
there's no way it does. Or we would have
the
more than $3,000
4-H,
in income.
Right.
what's that called? The 4-H council.
4-H council's taking that money instead.
I don't know that. I don't have
It's
that
not
answer,
us.
but
And
I
I'm
be
not
a
saying
week
I
there.
agree or disagree. I'm just saying I don't know.
So that's another piece that seems to be confusing, is that there is monies coming through the fairgrounds, we'll just say. And who is that money going to, so that everybody can be on the same page of, hey, the county commission is not receiving. This is the only money the county commission is receiving, or the county is receiving for.
Not that we're wanting to make money out of the
Right.
issue, but if we're, people are using it and like, just like that, everybody, arts and crafts, there's multiple people coming in there. At least they can help the county
Fund it.
with the upkeep of the building.
I also thought there was a disconnect on the ROI. I don't necessarily think that you guys are concerned with ROI as much as you're concerned with burning money. I mean, if it's not being able to be maintained with the monies that are currently available, it's not about return on investment. It's about
Because we're never going to see a return on this investment.
right. How deep is the bottomless pit of the money that is being
Spent.
I guess I'd like to see the days the building's actually been used and how many people are using it for free. And what the, I guess what the reason why we allow some to use it for free, I guess is my question. Whether it's 4-H, which I don't have a problem with it, but I just like to make sure that, just like the arts and crafts, if we're not getting anything out of the building, we're paying the electric and the heat.
All week. All weekend. Okay.
I don't have anything else.
I don't either.
I'll make a motion. We adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.